Hello everybody, it's Stewart A. Swerdlow
And Janet Diane Morius Swerdlow.
for expansions.com, and this is our news podcast for the middle of December 2012. Wow, the year's really going by quickly, just a couple of weeks left.
Amazing.
Well, I have some very interesting information for you because, as some of you may know, I've been doing a lot of work on Russian television, and in fact just completed a video for Russian state TV. And so in my research for the news this week, I found some very interesting information from Kathy Adams, former Texas GOP chair and current Texas Eagle Forum president, who gave a pre-election speech earlier this year claiming that President Barack Obama was a Marxist and that his brain is fried on drugs. She also said that his green agenda is Marxism and that he's trying to pass Amendment 64, which actually did pass, and will empty our jails, quoting her, will empty our jails and we will not be safe again. Now, let's backtrack a little bit to 2009 with a speech that then Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin made. And he warned about the Obama administration, saying that they were adopting socialism and also reminding them that Russian history clearly proves it is a recipe for failure. And I quote Mr. Putin, "Any fourth grade history student knows socialism has failed in every country, at every time in history," said Putin. "President Obama and his fellow Democrats are either idiots or deliberately trying to destroy their own economy."
This was back in 2009.
This was 2009. But here's the real kicker, because then the administration answered Putin. An Obama spokesman dismissed Putin's claim, saying, and I quote, "We're going to do socialism better."
Wow.
Unquote. They just about, well, not just about, they did admit it. Unbelievable. But it gets even better, people, because, you know, there's that Russian newspaper called Pravda, which means truth in Russian, which used to be the official newspaper of the USSR, which is now, it's more open-minded, supposedly. Now, there is a publication recently in which an author named Xavier Lerma, who is a writer for Pravda, said that he wrote a column called Obama's Soviet Mistake, in which he labels the US president, quote, "communist without question, promoting the Communist Manifesto without calling it so." He also said that Obama has a cult of personality that has mesmerized the ignorant in America, and that these ignorant Americans will follow the hope and change the icon in much the same way as fools still praise Lenin and Stalin in Russia. And by the way, they still do praise a lot of the communist leaders in Russia.
I think it sounds a lot like programming.
Well, he also goes on to say, Obama's fools and Stalin's fools share the same drink of illusion.
Wow.
That's very interesting. He also says that proof of this is the unreasonable expansion of the budget deficit and accumulation of the national debt, which he said happened in the Soviet Union and eventually led to total non-competitiveness in the economy. The author questions if Americans have ever read history, which we always say that's not taught in school, and concludes that American schools have been, quote, "conquered by communists long ago, paving the way for revisionist history that would only lead to the election of a communist president in the US."
Wow.
Again, another quote, "President Vladimir Putin could never have imagined anyone so ignorant or so willing to destroy their people like Obama, much less seeing millions vote for someone like Obama." But it's not just Russian perspective that's saying this, because there's also a statement by the ACLU about the eroding of America's Christianity, and the ACLU said, quote, "The red, white, and blue still flies happily, but only in Russia." Their new flag is red, white, and blue. Russia still has St. George defeating the dragon with the symbol of the cross on its flag. The ACLU and other atheist groups in America would never allow the U.S. flag with such religious symbols. Lawsuits aplenty against religious freedom and expression in the land of the free. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Every time there's a Christmas display out or Hanukkah display, there's always someone complaining, take it down, it's religious, we have to not have any religion in the United States. And these quotes and all this information directly back up what I wrote to you last November of 2011, if you remember that series of articles.
I remember what you wrote.
That Obama is a KGB creation set up to destroy the United States and create the USSA, the United Socialist States of America, which is what we have.
Where
In fact, the US is more communist now than Russia.
It's amazing.
Do you want to say something, or want me to go on to the rest of my stuff?
I want you to go on because you've got some very important
Yeah.
stories here. I've got some interesting ones, but yours are extremely important
but of
under the
course-
circumstances.
Yes. Now, of course, we all know about the tragedy that occurred this past week in Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut, which I refer you, please, to the article I wrote about this on that day. Please refer to the details in that article because I'm going to add to it.
This is the
Right now.
homepage, expansions.com.
Because I wrote about the numbers of the ages of certain people that were killed in other incidences, and in this particular incident, the psychologist of the school who was murdered was 56 years old. 5 and 6 is 11. The principal of the school who was murdered, 47 years old. 4 and 7 is 11. One of the ages of the teachers was 27, or 29.
No, 27.
29, 2 and 9 is 11.
Yes.
And then the town population is 27,000, 2 and 7 is 9, and the age of another teacher that was murdered, 27, is 9. So all of them, 9/11, 9/11, 9/11. You can't make this up.
No.
You cannot make this up.
It's interesting too, even the population they gave is 27,000. Usually they'll say 27,000, with some other extraneous numbers,
Yeah.
but this was just 27,000.
So I'll tell you people, and the day that it occurred, which was December 14, 2012, if you add up all the numbers, it's a 13. Yes? Let's just make sure.
Yes.
Yeah, 13, an everything day, an Illuminati number. So look, this was no accident. How could this person get into a locked door school? Someone had to have buzzed him in, and then they see this guy walking in with guns and a black military fatigue, and they just let him walk around.
Actually,
and call police.
the new, and this is changing all the time, but now the new information is that he actually broke a window and climbed into the school that way.
And so he broke a window. No one heard that.
I don't know where he broke
No one
into.
sees a guy driving up in a car in broad daylight on a sunny day, getting out of the vehicle with all this and walking to the school. There's no one that sees this.
Yeah, odd. And then, have you told them about the 3 Sandys?
Yes, it's in my article.
Yeah, well, we'll make them read the article.
Read the article because there's, again, imprinting of 3 with the name Sandy. The Superstorm Sandy, the Sandy Island that disappeared in the Pacific, and now the Sandy Hook Elementary School. 3s.
But
3 is a completion.
The interesting thing about the Sandy Island that disappeared, even though it was on the map for 100
Yeah,
years,
hundreds of years.
now they're saying it never existed.
Yeah, it never existed, people. All those sailors and ships that passed by for 200 years and saw the island, they imagined it. It never was there.
So maybe that's what they're saying
Yeah.
about these other
It
things.
was the size of Manhattan.
Yeah, that these things are just going to disappear off the map as well,
Well, I
perhaps.
think
don't
there's
know.
a clue because the 9/11's a big clue. The Everything Day 13 is a big clue, and the ages of the people, and plus it's the 3rd shooting in a week. It's a perfection completion cycle, creation cycle. They're up to some.
Plus the
Yeah.
hook, too. It talks about a hook, which is a lot of Sandy Hook.
Yeah.
So that's
Hook,
their
yeah.
programming.
But you know what else I just realized? 3 major global figures have been hospitalized in the last week as well.
Who?
Well, first we had Kate.
Middleton.
In Middleton with sickness. Then we had George Bush Sr. hospitalized, and now Hillary fainted.
Yeah, now that's odd because they don't show her fainting anywhere. They just
No,
said she has
because
a
I think
concussion.
she hit her head or
That's
something.
what they claim.
Yeah, so 3 leaders major figures all hospitalized, something weird going on.
And all
Another
icons,
three,
yeah.
another three. So, unfortunately, sometimes we don't know what they're planning until it happens, but they're up to something, and we know that.
And the main thing is that you do your deprogramming, you do your protection work, you do everything that you know to keep yourself safe, and so that you're not activated by triggers. I hope you're reading my holiday blog on the home page. That's public, that's free, you need to participate in that and be aware.
All right, so go
ahead. All right, well, I have some things that, some things I didn't think I was going to be talking about again because I thought it was done, but, it continues to extrapolate or to grow. So anyway, I'm going to continue on. First of all, military secrets. Now, I've been telling you that they're about these military secrets, and this they keep for the last couple of years, saying this secret, that secret. So obviously it's not secret, they wouldn't tell you. But now they're telling you that the nation's troubled space program has put out some kind of a robotic space plane called the X-37B, which can stay in orbit for over a year. But nobody knows why it's there, what its purpose is, but it's a secret. So it's not a secret, or they wouldn't tell you, so that makes no sense either.
Yeah, but you know what? That kind of ties into another story
Well, go ahead,
over
then.
here, where UFO fleets have been seen this past week over New York City, San Francisco, and Mexico, and I'm talking about a lot of them at once. And then last week, a meteor suddenly appeared and passed between the Earth and the Moon, and they said it was the same size object that crashed into Tunguska in 1908 and created all that havoc. Plus, we had Medvedev's statement about aliens a couple of days ago, and NASA saying that the moons of Saturn could be livable. So all of this ties into this other space thing. Sounds to me
that we're being let in on. They're
secrets. Getting ready for that staged alien invasion, which, according to that information from Russia, said it should be in August 2013.
Which is interesting because everything ties back into Montauk Day, always. August 12th.
Yeah, always 2000.
It always
August,
goes back to August. So that's important to remember as well.
And of course, the 13.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so going ahead with some programming, because there's so much programming going on in the holidays. Now this I thought was really telling. I have reported to you more than once about Prince William's 21st birthday party where they all dressed up like Africans, and and I did that on the holiday blog as well.
And we weren't invited to that.
We were not invited, but Queen Elizabeth Girls' School in the UK has their students, their ages 13 and 14, so middle school age, doing a business plan where the pupils were asked to imagine that they were slave traders. They were actually shown manacles, whips, thumb screws, iron brands, and asked to come up with a business proposal of how they would capture and imprison slaves in Africa. And they talked about the positive aspects of slavery. For instance, they could have affairs.
Where was this?
This is in the UK, Queen Elizabeth's Girls' School. They could actually, one of the positive things was that they could actually have affairs with beautiful African girls. And this is for 13 and 14-year-olds. I mean, it's bad enough, obviously. But here we are, 13 and 14-year-olds are telling them they can have affairs.
I'm not amused.
Well, the Queen obviously was not amused because apparently this presentation has been going on since September of 2010, but the head teacher said she was only aware of it since last month, after there was a complaint made by an African, a girl of African descent.
You think?
So, so what else is going on in these kind of elite schools that you'll never have a clue of?
I'm sure the Queen was upset because it takes her business away.
Yeah, we talked about that, about them, Prince Philip and Queen Elizabeth bringing indigenous people back to the UK from British Columbia in the last podcast. So this slavery issue is not going away. In fact, it's blossoming, which is really kind of strange considering the general public attitude toward it and the times. Now, also, of course, Jesus is the reason for the season. Is that what they say?
Well, you said it.
I said it. Well, there was a man, Nathan Grindle, who was kicked out of a dart throwing contest because he resembled Jesus so much. And he was very upset about this, apparently. But now his face is being splashed everywhere.
So he's going to make a lot of money.
Well, but the issue is that imprinting. So we don't exactly know what it's for other than the stage alien invasion, but why they're showing it, why they're making such a big deal. Apparently the crowd was even chanting, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. So
they threw him out because he looked like Jesus.
Yes, from a dart throwing contest. I mean, now that's weird. Programming. Okay, I've also talked to you about doppelgangers. Remember, that's your energetic double. Well, and that is a term that it continues to be used increasingly more. Now then, we hear that a couple of weeks ago, the Today Show put out a calling for viewers who think they might be a doppelganger or a look-alike of the NBC hosts.
See, but that's a misuse of the term.
Yes, but they continue to do that. They continue to use that word doppelganger because they want that. People are going to say, what is that? So we get into the astral level, people will know what that means.
It's to activate twinning programming.
Well, and that's what they're saying here. And remember, I also reported about the people from another time period. You know, that was another new thing where you can go see what you look like from, you know, who looks like you from another time period. And lo and behold, they're finding people. So they're also saying that the hosts got a chance to get to know their twins from another mother. And of course, we know twinning.
A brother from another mother.
Yeah, and with a twinning concept, of course, is also used very extensively in programming and very important, which is going to go along, which I've told you about before, with all the clones that are going to be happening. That's, again, going to be, you know, standard. Now, Justin Bieber, who hasn't heard of him? Usually when that comes on the radio, I turn it off or down. But this one caught my eye, and I'll tell you why.
I know.
Because it kind of ties into some other stories. I've been talking to you a lot about what they're doing with women and emasculating them, a lot about lopping off the breasts and all kinds of things to females. And I said, you watch, they're going to start bringing up stuff about men. So I've got some stories
He's
here.
not a man.
Well, apparently they wanted to make him not a man.
Well.
But the issue is still that they're going to be bringing up to men the same thing that they put women through. So Justin Bieber murder plot. Apparently there were 3 men who were convicted killers who planned to kill and castrate the pop singer. I don't know why, but they want to put that out.
Did you ever watch him?
Well, no, I don't. I really try to avoid that. But all of that leads into some other things which are extremely, I think, unusual. For example, there is now a cancer charity in the UK that's selling unusual baubles, and those are Christmas ornaments that are shaped like scrotums. And the idea is that they want the men to roll their testes between their thumb and forefinger to check for lumps once a month. Now, that's kind of what they started with women and breast cancer until they got the mammogram thing that smashes their breasts together. And I said pretty soon they're going to be doing the same thing for men, because once a month you're going to check, and then people are going to find it, and blah, blah. And
I think it's better if someone else does it for you.
I bet you do.
Can you check me, please?
I'll see if I can find a little old...
I need to have my
man
weekly check.
Or a little old lady.
No, I'll choose who does it. 80. I'll choose who does it.
But the interesting thing...
In fact, we should start making all you viewers write in who would like to volunteer.
Yeah. Okay, they're saying now that testicular cancer, they're trying to put out and have that awareness. So then they go on. Now it gets to me stranger. Apparently, according to the articles I'm finding, that there has been men's cancer awareness event called Movember. You ever heard of that? November, but with an M, Movember. I guess that's how you say it. It says that more than 1.2 million men grew out their mustaches in November to raise.
I've done that a long time.
There you go, to raise awareness for men's cancers. So how that raises awareness for men's cancers, I don't know. But here's this woman who's a part of it. I guess a woman's a part of it. She said, and I don't know why. Oh, no, it must be a man. Listen, look at the name,
What?
Sandy. The name is
Ooh,
Sandy.
Sandy.
I was assuming it was a male or a female, but apparently it must be a man.
Or maybe he's both.
I don't these days. But he says, quote, my wife would go in every year for her breast exams and pap smears. She was very open about that because everybody talks about it, you know. I never heard any friends talking about testicular cancer or what their prostate specified antigen, PSA, score was. So,
Because I'd like to know that about everyone I'm
I
friends
guess.
with.
So this movement, they say, has been on for 8 years, and I've never heard of it. And you know me, I'm listening for this stuff. And so this campaign, they say, has raised $299 million since its inception.
Oh my goodness.
For research for testicular cancer and prostate cancer. Okay, now then there's a group of women who feel left out from that. I mean, everybody's feeling left out, but the point is still...
Just because they have testicle envy.
They must. Well, this one is December, which is an initiative...
Oh my gosh.
That encourages women to stop shaving or waxing below the belt. Okay?
To stop doing that.
To stop doing it. Because they're saying men can shave off their mustaches or grow them out, I guess, so what can women grow out?
I see.
So they're going to grow out the hair on their private parts.
Uh-huh.
And I guess men don't like that.
And how will we know that they're doing it?
All of this is very strange to me, and
I mean,
and
I
look
can
at
see a mustache, but...
Yeah, how are we going to know? Well, that's maybe the next thing, because they're getting women, to bare their breasts, and they're, that now is okay to do.
So here's the perfect thing.
What?
We can have volunteers check me for testicular cancer. I can check them for their shaving parts. It's an even exchange.
Listen to this. And to me, this gets worse. Okay, now these founders are actually women, comedians.
Of course they are.
They're comedians, so they made this video, which is kind of a campy thing, they say. And this is what gets me. And they're also going to put a link to the cancer fundraising thing, so people can make donations to cancer.
Right.
But this is the kicker. It says, if a guy gives you a hard time, one woman states in the video, he must want you to get cancer.
Yeah, that's really logical.
I mean,
that makes a lot of sense to me.
It just, like I said,
Yeah.
it gets
Sounds
weirder
like
and weirder.
Sounds like they're brilliant women doing that.
It gets weirder. There's obviously an agenda here, and it gets weirder and weirder. Okay, so going on with weirder and weirder.
Go on.
I think that's. I want to make sure I didn't skip any stories. Yeah.
Because I still have one more.
You do? Okay, well, so I'll be fast here. Okay, then I've been telling you about bestiality and how that they're putting that out into the public and how everybody's saying, oh, it's so awful, blah, blah. Well, lo and behold, we have Carlos Romero, who is a Florida man.
I see what he is.
Yes, he's a donkey sex suspect because he says it's his constitutional right to have sex with animals, and his attorneys have actually filed an anti-bestiality or a lawsuit saying that the state of Florida's anti-bestiality law deprives Romero of his personal liberty and autonomy when it comes to private, intimate activities. So they're challenging the bestiality laws.
Let me tell you something.
What?
If he wants to have sex with furry donkeys, then he should have sex with those women who are not going to shave.
They're not going to shave.
It's a perfect match.
That
In
could
fact,
be.
we should set up a part of our website to match them up.
And he could test them to see if they've shaved or not, I guess.
Or they could test him for cancer.
I guess that's true. They could do
It's
that too.
perfect.
Well, they could do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, this man, if he wants to actually take this to trial, so of course that means more publicity for this kind of stuff. If he's convicted of bestiality, he could face a year in county jail. So again, they're trying to make it legitimate.
Talk about a piece of ass, really.
All right, no more Bible talk. Because they talk about that. I have one last story.
Go on.
Okay, and this one, it gets stranger, but this is for if you know someone that you want to get a gift for, I guess, for the holidays, and you're not sure what to get for them. They now are marketing pure gold pills. These pills contain 24 karat gold leaf, and when you ingest them, they actually open up and put flecks of gold in your poop.
Because you will show that to...
I don't know. That's why I said this gets stranger. So when it comes out of you, your poop will be flecked with gold. And then what you're supposed to do with that, I don't know. But these pills are $425 a piece. And they also have pure silver pills that will do the same thing, I guess. And maybe you'll try this. Now, when I used to be a dairy farmer, as most people know by now, and at the time, there were people who would take the cow poop, and they would put it into molds and dry it, so it became like little frogs and things to set in your garden. So maybe you could do the same thing with your own poop and dry it out and set it around your house. I don't know.
I just think it's a crappy thing to do,
I
really.
agree. I mean, this is really getting to the bottom of stuff.
I really think that it stinks.
Yeah, it's really bad. So that's my news. So like I said, it's weirder and weirder when you think it can't get any stranger. It does. So what else have you got
I just
for
have
us?
one other story before I give them some updates.
Okay.
But I've always told you that there's enough oil and gas to last a long time and that all the prices are ridiculous. Well, Nigel Lawson, who was the Secretary of State for Energy and the Chancellor of the Exchequer under Margaret Thatcher's government, says there's enough oil and gas in the world to last the next 250 years. And if you recall, a few years ago, the French Minister of Energy said that the U.S. alone had enough oil and gas stored to last 300 years if they never produced another drop. So all of this price gouging and up and down. You know, before the holidays, it was up and down, up and down. It's
But
just
remember,
ridiculous.
I told you, the gas that I paid for my car in the last, 3 to 4 weeks has dropped $1 a gallon, which is a lot. It's unheard of. And as you said, it's so that we can put
No,
more.
then the day before Christmas, it'll go up because everyone has to, they lowered the gas now so that you'll go out and drive and go shopping. And then once Christmas is coming close and you're gonna go visit, then they raise the price because no matter what the gas is, you're gonna go visit your relatives.
So go fill up your fuel tanks now while it's low, because
So
they will
that's
raise
what
it.
that's all about, just really, literally highway robbery. May I give my
Sure.
my
roundup?
reminders to you people, because this coming week we're leaving for our trip to Suriname and Aruba.
And Trinidad,
And Trinidad and Curacao and French Guiana and who knows where else,
Kuiper Belt.
maybe. So I just want to remind you that if you don't see us for a week or two, it's because we're researching for you,
And we'll
and
bring
we'll
you
be
back
reporting
news.
back to you. Then in January 13th to 20th, I have my week-long intensive class.
Well, we're gonna have fun, hyperspace oversoul
I don't even know.
extravaganza.
I don't know if there's any space left over though. I
There's
think
about
it's
3,
pretty
maybe 2 to
full.
3. You need to check with Patricia
Yeah,
to find
because
out.
it's like only a very little bit left.
People are still inquiring,
Yes,
so
yes.
reserve your spot because the space we have is going to be small and
Yeah, and
intimate.
if there's any incentive, you can check me for testicular cancer. That'll help make your decision. Should they check you for your?
No. No,
I just thought I'd offer that.
how
Then,
kind of you.
it's no problem. I share whatever I have. In February, I just found out I'll be going to Iceland. On my way, leading into March, where I'll be doing a big conference in Liverpool, UK, for Planet X Radio. It's Planet Expansions, actually. And then I'll be headed on to Italy, where I'll be doing a special travel log for all you people in Austria and Slovenia and all those places.
Yeah, more research.
More. Now, April, tentatively right now, New Zealand, Australia. May, I've been invited to speak in Prague. And in June, we know, Bosnia, Russia, China. And that leads us to July, where we'll be preparing for the staged alien invasion coming in August.
Yeah, there you go, the Montauk
So
Day.
get all your travel in, people, in the next 6 months.
Well,
Yeah.
August was usually when we have our week-long summer class. So maybe we'll do that over Montauk Day.
You
That might be
might
fun. We
have
haven't
some
set the
little
dates yet.
strange-looking people in the class.
Yeah, maybe we can dig in the ravine
Yeah.
and
Well,
let
you
them
kind of
come.
do have strange people looking in the class anyway.
We do?
So, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, and OMG. If you're interested in our OMG, our Oversoul Mastermind group, which is like our Oversoul Hyperspace think tank, then you need to contact Patricia. You do need to take the January 2013 class in order to be a part of the Oversoul Mastermind
yes.
group.
Everyone in the OMG has taken that class.
That's right. And I will also tell you that some of the OMG people have taken it 2 or 3 times because every time they do it, we go deeper and deeper. And it's designed that way, just the same as our work is. And the membership section, we're going to have a lot of surprises in 2013. And so we're very excited about it. Join the membership. That helps us with what we're doing behind the scenes so we can bring even more to you. So please get your membership and watch the site for the 1st of January because we're going to be announcing some new things. Not everything.
A lot of new things.
I'm not going to unveil all of them all at once, but we will start.
But I'll unveil something for you if you come in January.
Testicular, whatever.
Yes.
That'll keep them away. All right, that's it. And I think
I think
That's it.
I think we've said more than enough.
we probably have.
Yeah. By the way, any of you have Russian television? I will be on Christmas Day, a show called Yellow X or Case X, or actually be like X-Files.
Does that mean yellow X?
I am the lead story.
Yellow
I'm the
X.
opening act for the whole show. So if you get Russian state television, don't forget to look for me.
All right, send us good energy on our flight down to Suriname and around, and see if the Kuiper Belt gives you any specific transmissions while we investigate and explore.
I love transmissions. See you later. Bye.
Bye.